One nation, one election. Should India really go for it? Let's weigh the pros and cons. Usually, if the BJP is really pushing for something, the opposition and the liberals, everybody becomes really sus. अब ये पार्टी अपने हित के सिवा कहाँ कुछ सोचती है. But let's not think like that and evaluate the idea on its own merit. Now, simultaneous elections are not a new idea. In fact, in India, they were the norm till 1967. After that, because some state governments fell and for other reasons, the tenures and then the elections went out of sync. Let's look at the pros. If you look at India's annual election calendar, there's something going on all the time.
Mizoram, October to December, Chhattisgarh, November to Jan, MP, November to Jan, Rajasthan, November to Jan, then national elections around April, May, Andhra Pradesh, April to June next year, Odisha, April to June, Haryana, September to November, Maharashtra, September to November.
So political parties, especially a party like BJP, where the PM is integral even to state election campaigns, is constantly in campaigning mode. If elections just happened once and got over, maybe it would leave them with more time for governance. Costs of elections could also come down, but there's no detailed study on this, so we're not sure. Voter fatigue could also come down and thus improve turnout. Because of constant elections, the model code of conduct remains enforced for a long period of time. If that comes down, it could help the marketing of some developmental and welfare programs, which usually gets negatively impacted. Now the cons. This move would require amendments in 5 articles of the Constitution. Now that's a hard move to pull off. Unless, of course, the BJP just steamrolls it, then that would happen quickly, but that's not ideal. Also, when state, national, local body elections are spread out, what happens is it gives voters a chance to voice their discontent and for there to be some discourse. If all that is cut down and there's just one election, that time would be cut down drastically. Also, if elections are to become synchronous, this would mean that for a lot of state governments, the tenures will have to be curtailed early, and that will not go down well with a lot of people. Also, that cost-cutting benefit that the advocates of one election system talk about a lot, there's actually a parliamentary report from 2015 that says the opposite. It says that India would then require to double its EVM control units, which is straight off an expenditure of 9,000 crores. In addition to that, there would be administrative costs. So it might actually be a lot more expensive to move to this system. Even though voter fatigue may reduce, there might actually be more confusion due to information overload since so many elections are happening simultaneously. Also, during elections, number of cases in court tend to go up. And now, because there are simultaneous elections, there would be a lot more pressure on the judicial system. Overall, I think if the intent is right, it could be implemented really slowly, but there seem to be too many hurdles and practically it seems unworkable. Overall, except for the cost aspect, I more or less agree with what political strategist Prashant Kishore has to say on the subject.
अगर सही नियत से इस चीज को किया जाए और एक ट्रांजिशन का फेज हो 4 साल 5 साल का, ताकि सबको उस व्यवस्था में आने के लिए एक समुचित समय मिले, तो ये देश के हित में है। ऐसा इसलिए कि सबसे पहले तो ये देश में पहले लागू था 17-18 साल तक। दूसरा, भारत जैसे बड़े देश में, मैं खुद इलेक्शन से जुड़ा रहा हूं, हर साल 25% भारत का हिस्सा करीब करीब वोट करता है। तो पूरे टाइम सरकार चलाने वाले लोग जो हैं वो इसी चक्र में फंसे रहते हैं, आज यहां इलेक्शन, आज वहां इलेक्शन। अगर इसको एक बार या 2 बार में किया जाए तो ज्यादा बेहतर होगा, उससे खर्च भी बचेगा और जवाबदेही भी बचेगी, जनता को भी एक बार ही निर्णय लेना होगा। अब लेकिन चूंकि ये व्यवस्था 67 के बाद से करीब करीब 50 वर्षों से बन गई है, इसको ओवरनाइट अगर आप ट्रांजिशन करेंगे तो उसमें दिक्कत आ सकती है। तो अभी सरकार शायद बिल ला रही है, जैसा आप मीडिया बंधु बता रहे हैं, बिल को आने दीजिए। अगर सरकार की नियत सही में ठीक है इस चीज को होना चाहिए, होने से देश को फायदा है। लेकिन मैं फिर इस पे एक क्वेश्चन जरूर डालूंगा। मान लीजिए कि आप अपराध आतंकवाद निरोधक कोई कानून लाते हैं, तो कानून लाना तो अच्छी बात है, आप आतंकवाद रुकना चाहिए, उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, लेकिन उस कानून का उपयोग अगर आप किसी वर्ग विशेष या समाज विशेष को प्रताड़ित करने के लिए करते हैं तो उसका तो इसलिए वो जस्टिफाइड नहीं है।
Well, whether we like it or not, the government is quite keen on it. There's already a parliamentary committee which has been formed. It's being led by former President Ramnath Kovind, and they will discuss, what sections of the constitutions need to be amended, if ratification by states is required. And from 18th to 22nd September, there will be a special 5-day parliamentary session to discuss the issue. That's it from me. See you next time.